Hey guys, my pull plan is 4 months old, so I figured why not do a new one right now and give you some additional information as to what to do in version 2.8 and moving into version 3.0 so that you have everything concise and packed into one video. The ultimate goal in version 2.8 is of course to establish yourself the two best teams in the game, which will be Blood Tide and Dynamo. The very first character and banner that we have to talk about is this current Ripples on the Water banner in this Assassin's Creed collaboration, because this will be your last chance to pull for the character Eternity, which you will need to play together with her Euphoria #1 in the Blood Tide team. If you want to play Blood Tide right out of the gate, you will need Eternity. Her Euphoria #1 is this one here. It's called Drink Deep, Silurian Waves So Below. So if you want to play Blood Tide right when version 2.8 drops, make sure you get your hands onto Eternity right now by either pulling on this current Euphoria banner in the Assassin's Creed collaboration, or you use the 6-star collector to obtain her, because without it you would have to wait until you will be able to play Blood Tide. Then moving into the actual version 2.8, we have 3 absolute must pull characters here, no way around it. Those 3 characters are the limited new character Nautica, the rerun of Lucy, you will have to pull for that as well, no way around it. And there is a third banner called Promise of the Water. Here you can select any character that you want and pull for it, excluding Hisabeth, Kiparina and limited characters. So here, in case you wouldn't have Fatutu, this is a must pull character. You moving out of version 2.8 without Fatutu in your bag would be a huge mistake. I want to mention one additional thing, and this is this souvenir of companionship right here. This allows you to obtain a character, excluding limiteds and excluding Kiparina and Hisabeth as well. For 30 bucks you will gain one character of your choosing, plus 10 Unilocks. Additionally, we have this brand new Euphoria banner here, which is very nice. Here you can obtain yourself the last pieces, in case you would have missed them multiple times by now, to establish the Blood Tide and the Dynamo team, such as Semmelweis, for example, which is a must play, the best in slot healer for the Blood Tide team with Medicine Pocket, and you even gain access to Ezra, which is the sustain character for the Dynamo lineup. So here you will probably have to pull for 1 if not even 2 characters as well, so plan ahead and use your Unilocks wisely. And here we have it all and more combined into one picture. Let's go over this together right now. Must pulls here are Nautica, Lucy and Fatutu. The most important additions are Semmelweis, Medicine Pocket and Ezra, which all 3 will be part of the Euphoria banner in version 2.8. Plus you need Eternity if you want to play Blood Tide right out of the gate, so remember what I told you about her earlier. Then we also obtain 2 more free characters here with Buddy Fairchild and Ulrich. Ulrich is of course played together with Lucy and Ezra to build the Dynamo archetype, while Buddy Fairchild is an option to build a ultimate archetype team around, just in case you wouldn't have a better option, like for example Recoleta. You would be able to obtain yourself Recoleta from the Promise of the Water banner or from the Souvenir of Companionship, in case you wouldn't already have or be in need of Aleph and or Flutterpage. So if you don't want to rely on a 5-star character like Buddy Fairchild to base one of your teams around, then Recoleta is a very good and recommended choice to obtain yourselves as well in version 2.8. Planning ahead into version 3.0 is pretty beneficial to do here, because we get the 2 new characters with Sentinel and Sharon. Now Sentinel is only worth pulling and only recommended to pull for if you for some reason skipped Eternity and you want to delay your Blood Tide team into version 3.0, that would turn Sentinel into a must pull. If you already have Eternity and established her Euphoria #1, then Sentinel is an easy skip, as she's just not needed for anything at all, even though she outclasses Eternity like in every single way and by a pretty huge margin, but it wouldn't justify actually pulling for Sentinel for the reasons of we don't need her because of Eternity, and we can make up for the difference in damage output that she has over Eternity by pulling for Nautica portraits. Then we have Sharon, who's also gonna be released, and he will be the last character that we need to complete the Dynamo archetype team. The Dynamo archetype team is a must-have for every single player out there, no matter if veteran or new player or beginner, whatever you want to call yourself. You must go out of version 2.8 with a complete Dynamo team, and this team will only be completed in version 3.0 by pulling for Sharon. He is very, very broken, the last piece of the puzzle for the Dynamo archetype. That makes him a must pull, so make sure that you save up for him. So let's compile all of this into one picture one more time. Here are the must-haves after version 2.8. If you walk out of the second anniversary with these three things that I'm about to tell you and that you can see here on your screen, you can call it a successful second anniversary. And if you watched my channel and followed my lead, so to speak, then you will be able to do this effortlessly. If you do not walk out with these three things out of the second anniversary, you fucked up somewhere. And those three things are the Blood Tide team with Nautica, Semmelweis, Eternity and Medicine Pocket, the Dynamo archetype team with Lucy, Ulrich, then Sharon in 3.0 of course, and Ezra, plus the character Fatutu. If you have these two teams plus Fatutu after version 2.8, congratulations, you know what you are doing. Then we have of course honorable mentions. Those are luxury options if your resources allow you to obtain these characters. Those would of course be huge benefits to you. Those are Recoleta, Aleph and Flutterpage. Of course, if you don't play Impromptu, right, and you don't need Aleph, right, all these things we did go over them in deep detail in my previous videos, and those should be self-explanatory at this point. But this is the stuff here on your screen that you want to have as much established of these things as possible after version 2.8. Now there is a little bit more to this anniversary than of course just characters, and these are, for example, portraits. I made a video about portraits, Nautica portraits and everything that's like 30-40 minutes long or something like that. But let me explain you this one more time really quick. Yes, Reverse1999 is a very free-to-play friendly game. That doesn't mean that portraits don't exist or that portraits don't have any value. Therefore, at some point you will have to pull for portraits. There's no way around it. Otherwise, your entire roster will always be at the minimal possible power that it could be. You don't want that. That is an absolute loser mentality. You want to establish yourself something of true power. You can only do this by portraits. Now, with this knowledge obtained, ask yourself the question, what better point to ever pull for portraits than an anniversary that introduces the best character in the entire game, that is a main DPS character for the best team in the entire game. You will come to the conclusion that there is no better point ever in this game than pulling for portraits at, in this case, the second anniversary. So that means you will have to kind of pull for portraits for Nautica. This would give you much more future-proof and much more power than, for example, pulling for an additional character like Sentinel that is not even truly needed. Of course, we have to keep in mind here that Reverse1999 is heavily developed in a direction that you need 3 teams, 4 teams, 5 teams, 6 teams. At some point you will need like 20 teams, right? And therefore I wouldn't truly recommend to P5 Nautica. It is fine to stop at portrait 2, but of course keep in mind that the more portraits your resources allow you to go for, the better, right? But P2 would be fine. You again moving out of the second anniversary with P0 Nautica, that would absolutely not be recommended. And again, if you are not a completely new player, you made a mistake somewhere. Talking about portraits, we will also gain a portrait selector. Keep in mind here that you will already have to have the character that you want to choose a portrait for at your disposal, right? You cannot choose a portrait for later and then obtain the character later to use the portrait. That's not how that works. You have to have the character, then you can choose a portrait for him. And the best options that you can choose for yourself is, of course, by far, Flutter page P1. That's the best choice here, no question about it. If you have Flutter page P1 and you play impromptu with Aleph, then you choose P1 Aleph easily. Here keep in mind that P2 and even P3 Aleph are also very good options. So again, if you have Flutter page P1 but you don't have Aleph at P3 but you play Aleph in the impromptu lineup, get a portrait for him. Next best option in fact would be Recoleta at P1. Her portraits number 2 and number 3 are also very valuable. So if you play Recoleta as your ultimate archetype team main DPS, definitely get a portrait for Recoleta, unless it would be P4. And a lot of players will also have to default to the portrait for Ulrich. There you go. There will also be a whole bunch of Euphoria updates that you will have to complete in version 2.0. And I get asked this question quite a bit, like how should I go about this? What Euphoria update has how much value? In which order should I upgrade those if I can't upgrade them all right out of the gate? And the answer as to how to figure this out is actually very simple. You just look at the best and the most valuable teams in the entire game, and then you go by the logic of, hey, Blood Ember, Blood Tide is the best team in the entire game. Let me see what Euphoria updates I need for this best team in the game. Those Euphoria updates, needless to explain and logically, will be the most valuable. So again, what Euphorias do I need if I play the Blood Tide team? Then I can see Semmelweis, Eternity and Medicine Pocket. Now of course, the most important character in a team is the main DPS. That is Nautica here. The partner in crime is the partner in crime because that is the most important character for our main DPS. So there you go. That's how you find out that Semmelweis is the very first Euphoria that you should update, and this is the Euphoria update with the most amount of value in the entire game. And then you will probably already have Eternity's Euphoria established before 2.8 even hits, right? Same should also count for Medicine Pocket, if I'm being honest. And then you go look at the second best team in the entire game. You see Dynamo. Lucy is the main DPS there. She will get a Euphoria update, so there you go, boom, after Semmelweis you will upgrade Lucy, right? Easy as that. And that's how you go and continue going down the list to figure out what Euphoria updates have the most amount of value. In order to actually find out what the best teams in the game are, you can join my Discord server, gain access to this database right here, and gain access to all the information that you need to actually find out what is the case. And here you see the most accurate information that anyone provides you. There's no better tier list or database out there when it comes to Reverse1999. In order to join my Discord server, you can use the link in the description down below. There is one more thing that you have to know and that you have to establish yourself enough of to be ready for version 2.8. And those are the materials that you need to actually upgrade your Euphoria. In order to find out what those resources are, you go to a character that has a Euphoria. You will see what materials you need to upgrade this Euphoria. Then you will click on whatever material you need, and this will lead you to, most likely, the wilderness crafting. And here you see these gold items. You should establish yourself a good amount of all 5 of these gold items to make sure that whatever resource you might need to upgrade a specific Euphoria, you have that at your disposal. And here you can see in order to establish yourself one golden item. Let's take the Rheingold for example. You can see that you need 2 items with a yellow background to establish yourself this. Then what you do here, and that is very important, it will save you a lot of stamina, so please follow me. You click on this yellow item here and you do not go to the stage that it recommends you to farm this item. Wait a minute, not every yellow item recommends you a stage to go farm it, but some do. You see right here, depending on what gold item you will need to farm, they recommend you to go to a stage. But you can see the drop rate here is rare, so it would actually be a very low drop rate for this item and you would waste your stamina. What you do instead is you click on the item, this yellow, if it's a yellow one, you go to craft in wilderness again, and then you can see that you need items with a purple background. And those items are what you farm by, again, clicking on the item. And now you go to the most recommended stage here on the very top to actually grind this item out. And you keep doing this every single day for all of these 5 golden items. And in the end, you will be fine and have as much materials established as possible to upgrade as many Euphoria updates as possible in version 2.8. And that's it for the video, guys. I hope this was fun and informative. If you like Reverse1999 content in general, please consider leaving a follow on my channel. I would really appreciate it. But until next time, take care of yourselves, have a great day, don't forget to join the Discord server, and we love this game.